All right, Psalms 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So, God, he's multi-layered. He'll allow you to get a new revelation on something you done read a million times. And this time when I read it, it hit different. Especially because of the situation that I just explained to y'all, because it's like, okay, it says the Lord is my shepherd. What's the shepherd? A protector, someone who leads you, someone who guides you. He takes care of you. He watches over you. He feeds you. Like it's about to say, he leads you to green pastures. He leads you to the water. He makes sure you're well nourished. Now, he started here because before anything happens, he's going to make sure you're well nourished. He prepares you for the journey. So right now, it starts off at a place of rest. Right now, while you're lying in green pastures and getting the water, you're in a place of teaching. You're in a place of learning how to trust God. It's a peaceful place. It's a lovely place. And you need to get all that you can get while you're there. And it goes on to say, he restoreth my soul. When your soul is restored, what does that mean? You're being built up. You're being strengthened. Again, preparation. Because the shepherd knows where you're all about to go. You may not know, but the shepherd knows. He knows where you're about to go. And it says, he leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. So for his glory. Now it says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Now me, I'm a little slow. So I always looked at that like, I done got myself in trouble. Now here I am in the valley of the shadow of death, and God got to come get me. But no, it just said that he lead you. He's leading you. So there may be times that he leads you into uncomfortable places. There's going to be times that he leads you into places where you may think that you're about to die. He may lead you to somewhere that's unfamiliar, or to you it feels unsafe. And unfortunately, a lot of times, I'm talking about me. Before God taught me this, it was always the devil doing this, devil doing that. He cutting up. Well, what if God is leading you? What if he's leading you? Because he has a work for you to do. So he leads you in the shadow of death, in the valley of the shadow of death. And since you learned how to trust him in the pastures, there's no reason for you to fear any evil. Because you know he's with you. It says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Now, the shepherd is always going to have his rod and his staff. You know why? Because sheep are dumb. Sheep don't know nothing. They will get caught into a ditch, get out, and get caught into that same ditch. So as he's leading you through this valley, he's going to have to tap you a little bit. He's going to have to take that hook and hook you back on the right path a little bit. But that's part of his leading you. That's why we're supposed to embrace correction. You embrace the correction because that's him leading you on the path of righteousness for his name's sake. And when you feel that correction, it should be a comfort, because you know why? You part of the flock. If you wasn't his, he ain't got nothing to do with that. But if he's tapping on you a little bit, if he's bringing you back to him, that means you belong to him. That in itself should be a comfort. And then the psalmist goes on to say, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. There's your work. There's your work. The table is prepared. The table is prepared. Do you trust him enough to sit there? Are you stable enough in him to sit there? Or have you got so discombobulated by the valley of the shadow of death that you didn't even make it to the table? So we have to learn how to trust our shepherd and stay stable in our mind. And know that he guides our every step. And even in the valley of the shadow of death, he's going to prepare a table before us. And then it says, thou anointest my head with oil. When he anoints your head with oil, I am not sure of all that means. But I know I've read that when people have been anointed, again, it's for work. They walk into some type of calling, some type of, most of the time I hear it's about kings. And kings are there to do a work. They're there to deliver a service. Because you can't do a work without being anointed. I don't care how much you want to. If he doesn't anoint you, if he doesn't give you his anointing, you're just there. And those enemies are going to end up devouring you. So while he's leading you in the presence of your enemies, he anoints you. He empowers you to do the work. And it says, my cup runneth over. Now, this part I had to look up. So in ancient times, it said that the king would constantly fill the cup of the one who had his favor. In the midst of all that's going on, in the midst of all the confusion in your life, in the midst of every storm in your life, he's still filling your cup. You still have his favor. But you still have to be stable enough in your mind to see that. You can't be like Peter was, focused on the boisterous winds. We have to learn how to fix our eyes on Jesus, learn how to fix our eyes on our shepherd, and remember the green pastures. Because he's already given you what you need. You just got to use it. He's already prepared you. You just got to use it. You got to trust him. And of course, he ends saying, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So wherever I go, I'm abiding. Wherever he leads me, he's with me. His goodness and his mercy, it follows me. So when all these things come up on me, I don't have to be worried. I don't have to be afraid. All I need to worry about is, do I trust you, Lord? You know, why am I getting upset? Why am I off kilter? What are you really trying to do? Am I lined up with your mind? Have I gone through the throne of grace in my time of need so I can find out what his good judgment is on the situation? Or am I working out of my own emotions? You know? Which brings me to, Jeremiah 29:11. It says, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. And then go to John 17:23. In John 17:23, this is the Lord's prayer. His final prayer before he went to the cross. And he's pouring out his heart to the Father. He's pouring out his heart to the Father. And the thing that amazes me about this prayer is that Jesus didn't pray for himself.
He really didn't. He didn't say, Lord, please don't let it hurt as much. Let it be quick and easy. He didn't say none of that. He was praying for us. He was praying for his disciples and all the ones who believed their testimony. So in verse 23, it's talking about the unity that he desires for his people to have. He says, I in them and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me and hast loved them as thou hast loved me. I'm going to read that last part one more time. And that the world may know that thou hast sent me and hast loved them as thou hast loved me. I don't understand God's love. But I understand that he loves me the same way that he loves Jesus. And when we read about Jesus Christ, we're often, well, I know me. I often just get like excited because it's like they couldn't do nothing to him. They absolutely, positively could not do a thing to Jesus because he had the protection of his Father. And as long as he walked in obedience, they couldn't touch him. They couldn't kill him. They couldn't stone him. They couldn't do nothing to him. All they could do was talk, hope, and wish. That's it. That's it. God's love was protecting him. And that same love protects us. As long as we stay in his will. That same love protects us. So in this season, what God is showing me, what he's teaching me is I don't have to know what the end results are. I don't have to, I don't even have to even know what the next step is. But I know who my God is. I know who my shepherd is. I know who loves me. I know who protects me. I know the plans that he has for me. And in knowing that, it makes it so much easier just to basically chill and obey. Just chill out and obey. You don't get so easily worked up when the trials of life come. Because guess what word you can stand on? The trials of life, they just come to make me strong. I'm going to be all right. They're not going to kill me. I'm just going to let it work its peaceable fruit, right? I'm going to be all right. When sickness come, well, it is what it is. God go get the glory one way or another. Either he going to heal me or we go dance in glory. So, hey. That's going to be all right too. But guess what? Some way, somehow, as long as I stay in obedience, my shepherd is going to get the glory. He said he leaves his peace with us. A peace that surpasses all understanding. The only way we can keep that peace is in trusting him and him alone. We have to learn, I have to learn how to retain and how to keep that peace. Because if not, every little bitty rock, every turn, everything, I'm going to be losing control. I'm going to lose control. And that's not what he's called us to do. One of the fruits of the Spirit is what? Self-control. So the more that we learn to trust him, the more stable that we get in him. And the more we're able to retain the peace that he's given unto us.